Hello, I'm Chelsea Torres and I'll be presenting the National School Lunch and School Breakfast Program. The formal title of this policy is Healthy Meals for Healthy Americans Act of 1994. It was introduced January 5, 1993 and sponsored by Del Kildee, who was the representative for Michigan's 9th Congressional District. This policy was enacted and signed by the President on November 2, 1994. The objective for the act was to amend the Child Nutrition Act of 1966 and the National School Lunch Act to extend certain authorities contained in the acts. Since both of those acts come together to make up the National School Lunch and School Breakfast Program, I'll also be talking a little about both of them. The National School Lunch Act established the National School Lunch Program, and it provides nutritionally based, low-cost, or free lunches to children depending on their eligibility. It was signed by President Harry Truman in 1946. The Child Nutrition Act of 1966 recognized the effectiveness of the National School Lunch Program, so it extended it, expanded it, and strengthened the provision of the National School Lunch Act. This act also initiated pilot breakfast programs, and in 1975, the program received permanent authorization. The manifest goals for this program was to provide food and good nutrition to school children. The latent goals was that the provision of food would allow the children to be healthy, and they would be successful in completing their education and focusing on school. And if they acquire a good education, the children can later contribute to the society and economy of the U.S. once they begin to work. So there are various services that this program offers. The National School Lunch Program, it provides lunch to the children. In the fiscal year 2012, more than 31.6 million children each day got their lunch through the program. The School Breakfast Program offers the breakfast for the children. The Team Nutrition provides schools with training and assistance to help school service staff prepare healthy meals. Also, nutrition education helps children learn how a nutritious diet helps them maintain healthy. There is also after-school snacks provision, and there's a summer food service program which continues to offer food during the summer. The benefits of this program services is that it has shown to have had facilitated higher educational attainment and provided some short-term positive effects on health for the children. For these services, children can purchase meal through the National School Lunch Program, but they can qualify for free or reduced price meals. The children from families that have incomes at or below 130% of the poverty level, they are eligible for free meals. For kids to be eligible for reduced price meals, they must come from families that have incomes between 130% and 185% of the poverty level. They cannot be charged more than 40 cents for the meals. Children that are from families with incomes over the 185% of the poverty level must pay for the meals. The National School Lunch and School Breakfast Program is supervised by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Schools in the lunch program get cash subsidies and donated commodities from the U.S. Department of Agriculture for meals served. The meals that are served must meet the federal nutritional requirements. So how is this program financed? It is federally funded, and money is given to states depending on their per capita income. So if the states have a lower per capita income, then they receive a larger amount of the federal funds. The amount of money given also depends on the number of school children between the ages of 5 and 17. There are a few problems that require a policy redress for this program. One is that there is growing concern of child obesity and the quality of meals being provided to children. According to the CDC report, the percentage of children aged 6 to 11 in the U.S. who were obese increased from 7% in 1980 to nearly 18% in 2012. Similarly, the percentage of adolescents aged 12 to 19 years who were obese increased from 5% to nearly 21% over the same period. Also, a study shows that children who attend public schools are more likely to be overweight, More specifically, children that are eligible for free or reduced cost lunch or breakfast programs in public schools have a higher body mass index. In another study, it was concluded that students are more likely to become obese and have greater weight if they are eligible for reduced price school lunches than those who bring their own lunch from home. These studies show that there is a big concern over this problem. Another problem is that some schools are part of the lunch program but are not part of the school breakfast program. And 15% of children who are underweight and from low-income families attend schools that do not offer the school breakfast program. And although millions of children continue to receive meals when the school year is over, many do not. Only 1 in 6 children who ate school lunches during the regular school year were reached by the summer nutrition programs. And 16.2% of children who participated in the National School Lunch Program during the 2013-2014 school year were served by the Summer Food Assistance Program. I think this policy is effective because it provides meals, and especially with families that are low income and who would not have been able to buy their lunch at school. It also provides students with the opportunity to engage in their education. However, the adequacy of the meals are questionable. I think this policy is sufficient because the cost of funding of the program produced benefits in providing lunch for approximately 31.6 million children, as previously mentioned. I think this policy is ethically sound because it doesn't discriminate whether on race, gender, disability, and any type of discrimination. And it also acknowledges the fact that low-income families will have more difficulty in obtaining lunch. So are there suitable and viable alternative policies? I think that policymakers can change the program in a way that meets nutritional needs for every child. All children have different amount of calories that they need to intake. Some children may be receiving less or more calories than they need. And the USDA should also provide different dietary guidelines which could reduce the number of children that are not receiving enough nutrition or children that are obese. In order to advocate for the changes for the policy, which can make it more effective, I would encourage parents to become active in the nutrition of their children and explain the effects of providing a good nutrition. They should also become aware of the lunches their children are being provided at school, so this way they are also incorporated in the process. I would also encourage schools to become part of the program by explaining its benefits to the children and their education. And also, I will bring to the attention of policymakers on the benefits that the policy changes would provide. In addition to that, I would present opinions on nutritional needs from professionals, such as nutritionists, as an eye-opener in letting them be aware of the individual needs that each child has because all children are different.